Blake Bargatze spent more than 3 months in a hospital ICU after contracting COVID-19. He needed a double lung transplant to survive, and he's only 24 years old. He's joined by his mother, Cheryl Nuclo. Blake and Cheryl, we are so happy to have you. Blake, we are happy to see how well you are doing. I mean, you, as we just said, are only 24 years old, and you almost died from COVID. How are you doing today?
I'm doing a lot better now. And in fact, I'm actually close to being discharged from a hospital to go to an inpatient physical rehabilitation center. I'm getting stronger day by day. I can't walk just yet, but that's the goal. And, I'm going to spend some time at that center just to get stronger and back on my own 2 feet again.
Well, we know it's going to be a really long road. And just to tell people of what the ordeal is that you have already been through, just to recap a little bit of the history. On March 27th, you went to an indoor concert. That was weeks before you were even eligible to get the vaccine. So you were not yet vaccinated. And I know that you think you caught COVID at that concert and you regret going to that concert. 2 days later, you felt sick. Within a few days of that, you were in the hospital with bilateral COVID pneumonia, meaning in both lungs. And I know you've been honest that you were a vapor. You vaped before that. But again, you're 24 years old. Is that why doctors think you got so ill?
No, that was a question that I approached his doctor with yesterday. And Dr. Reed said it wasn't really the vaping. He thinks he just got a full viral load, that somebody probably just coughed directly in his face. Particles went up his nose and his eyes and his mouth. So, I mean, the vaping doesn't help, but for the way that Blake responded, he just got a full direct contact with it.
Yeah. Cheryl, obviously, as his mom, this has been terrifying for you. It only got worse. I mean, after he was hospitalized, it only got worse. Within 2 weeks,
yes.
He was on a ventilator. 2 weeks after that, his heart stopped, I think 3 separate times, one of them on Mother's Day. I can imagine how helpless you must have felt. Did you think he was going to make it?
Actually, no. You kind of go numb. You know, I never gave up hope. Initially, the problem was trying to find an ECMO bed for him. And then we had him flown to Atlanta, or actually Dr. Barrett flew down and got him and brought him back and put him on ECMO.
And ECMO is like a supercharged ventilator, right?
It's like an artificial lung machine. So he would still be on the ventilator, kind of letting his lungs rest, but the blood would be taken out of his body, going through an oxygenator, giving, good, rich, oxygenated blood to his organs. And he was on that 9 weeks. 9 weeks.
9 weeks.
And then at some point you got the news that he was going to need a double lung transplant. Blake, were you conscious during this? Were you aware that you were going to need a lung transplant?
I was asleep for most of my hospitalization, but I do recall when they said that I needed a pair of new lungs, and my mom talked to me about the pros and cons, and obviously if I chose to decline it, I would have died. So I took the chance. I did the operation, and it went well, and I'm happy to be alive, and obviously have a second chance.